Well, hello, I'm down the garage again, standard. Kind of what you expect really when you tune into this, don't you? And today I've decided I'm going to come down here and start stripping out some of the engine bay, which is not necessarily a job I've been looking forward to, but necessarily a job that obviously needs to be done so I can progress things along, and I'm keen to get things moving. Since we last spoke, I've spoken to a couple of people about engine management systems. I've spoken to the guys at Motorsport Electronics who do a full system for the ST170, had a customised quote done for a full setup with the spec that I need, allowing me to run everything that I needed to run. And it's looking at just over £1,000, £1,077 or something similar. That's supposed to be quite straightforward. At the same time, I've also seen that Ignition Advantages have got a full ST170 kit coming out for the Max ECU Street. Now the Mini isn't capable of running the VC2, which is something that I want and need to do, because otherwise what's the point in having an ST170 engine? I'm waiting to see how much that's going to be. It's a tricky one. Ultimately, I think the ME221 is going to do what I needed to do, and it's possibly going to be a bit more budget friendly. The Max ECU Street I think is probably a bit more modern, and possibly a bit more capable if you want to add other bits and pieces to it down the line. Ultimately, I think what it comes down to is who can tune it, and that's a big thing. So round here there is nobody for ME221 or Motorsport Electronics ECU, according to them themselves. The nearest being Wiltshire, and I live in Sussex, so that's a problem. Max ECU, I need to find out. Possibly it could be Kent and Essex. So equally, not close. But these are big considerations really, because I guess probably once it's set up, I'm only going to need to do it once. And once it's set up, it will probably do its thing forevermore, which is great. I want to be able to look at the fueling and such, so I can adjust the mixture as I need, if I need it to be a bit leaner. I guess, or what have you. For whatever reason you might want it to be slightly lower on emissions, I don't know, but nevertheless, I something that I can work with if I need to easily switch between a couple of modes, and also something that can be mapped and monitored locally, because it isn't really my thing. So, answers on a postcard. If you live in Sussex, let me know which you'd be looking at. Otherwise, onwards. So I've started stripping everything down. I've started bagging bits and pieces up so I know what it is, where it goes, and it's a bit of a mess. And the reason why it is because I'm having to stand inside the engine bay. You can see here, the doors here. It's really tight in here, as we know, and I don't know if you can hear that, but it's an absolute storm outside. So, well, I say storm, it's just rain, wind, miserable, so you don't want to have the door open, you're climbing in and out. So after climbing under the gap, it's only a matter of time before I take off the suspension legs. That will make things a bit easier, but I've kept them on for as long as possible because, again, it's somewhere to put them. Everything is somewhere to put them. So, here we go then. Wiper motor out. Bonnet hinges off. Heater matrix pipes. Cover, which is now a bit crusty, let's be honest. I think it's time to maybe think about changing that. And also, steering rack now removed. Rather reassuringly, it didn't just fall off. It took a hell of a lot of work to try and get it out, so I assume it's been seized slightly in there, but let's face it, it's been 10 years since the last time it come off, but it's off. I'm quite happy really with how solid everything is. I know I've said it before, but got a bit of surface crust here, a bit there. There's some stuff, but it's mostly overspray actually. Some rubbish paint here. But it's kind of okay. Bits to do. Okay, so I've just popped the headlamps out, which are new old stock ones, which are worth a small fortune, so I'm trying to do my best to keep those safe. You can see that I ran the wiring loom through the wings just to try and tidy things up, and I've actually replaced this plug before because I thought I had an earthing fault. I thought this was the issue. This one I haven't done, but have a look at this. Melted. So I guess I need to crack on and get that done. I've also tucked the wiring for the Zetec back down the hole. Now, I've realised that to take most of those bits and pieces off, and I've forgotten, I've got to take the dash out, which is fine, apart from the fact I'm stuck in the garage, obviously, and there's not a lot of space against that wall, so I'm hoping I can open the door far enough to be able to remove the dash. If not, then I'm going to have to do it whilst it's on the crane or something. I'll have to work that out later. Anyway, one small issue is that when the Zetec was installed, I didn't do this, but the chap who did kindly install the Zetec for me modified my my fuse box, so I've got a hole in the side of it. Now, I think to take this off, I need to take everything out the back of the fuse box to replace the bottom section. So whether I pop something over that to tidy it up or not, I'm not sure. Also, the wiring for the alarm goes through the side of it, which is irritating because I certainly wouldn't have done that out of choice. I have discovered though that there is a nice hole down here for which there is rubber grommet, for which hopefully some of the wiring can poke through for the engine to try and tidy things up. But as I think I mentioned before, I do have a couple of other options, which I put in when I was building this the first time around about 10 years ago. I'm not looking forward to moving the braking system because I don't really want the thing to drop brake fluid everywhere. I think it's just going to be a nightmare. So I might wait until I've got the dash out for that. I suspect that's a job for another day. I'm just going to pop inside and see if I can remove the throttle cable. I want to measure the length of that so I can work out what I need, and clutch cable from the pedal box. But they're also a pain in the backside. You have to hang upside down to do things like the clutch ratchet or anything to those in the driver's seat, which is a pain in the backside if you can open the door anyway. Even worse if you can only get in via the passenger side and can't open the driver's door. So I'm just trying to solve. I've got the enthusiasm for that this evening, but I think I might give it a go. I've also come up with a better way of getting out of the garage. So I just pop the door open, even though it's raining, and slide underneath. But it's proved to be better. And as you can see, I've got a little bit of a collection of bits at the top here, which are all bagged, and hopefully I'll be able to work out where they are. I guess the underbonnet temps have got pretty hot. I managed to melt this as well. And this is the bonnet release cable, so I guess a new one of those is due. Something else to add to the list. Well, I'm going to give up bravely because it just sounds horrible outside. I'm just going to go to bed. Why not? I think next job, dash out. Hopefully we'll get those bolts undone. I'm going to have a quick look now and see if I can get to them. Otherwise I'm going to worry about it. But I need to do that before I can do the next bit. There's no two ways about it. Otherwise I'm going to have to strip bits of the dash out and then lean through the dash, I think, to get the bits out that I need. And it's just going to be a nightmare. But it's be easy to take the whole dash out. And then, yeah, bit more stripping off the brake system, drop the front struts out. I can't help but notice the near side front, which was starting to make a bit of a knock noise. I think it might be leaking, which is irritating. So probably have to get that either rebuilt or replaced. Yeah, jobs for another day. This is the beauty of being able to shut the door and leave it, I think. But I just want to crack on and get it done, really. Painting the engine bay is my least favourite part of this project. Really just want to get the thing in, get it running and drive it for a change. Well, that's a spot of luck. Look, they are literally just on the edge, so as long as the door opens more than that, which I think it should do, or as much as that, I can get the thing out. Now I can go to bed happy. I'm not going to pull it out today, partly because I need to sort out the mess that is the inside of this car. Little bits on the floor, for example, trying to stop them getting scratched and damaged. But also because I just want to be nice and clean and ready to do this and jump in there and crack on. That really is it for now. Thank you for tuning in. Do make sure you subscribe and look forward to seeing you next time.